Hello, guys. Welcome to one more Magic Insight podcast. So, Artur, today we are going to speak about electronics on Magic. Yes,
correct. Not only that, but
yeah, it was a theme that you wanted to speak about, and I think we have a lot to say. So, let's start by first of all, I think that one of the most pioneers regarding electronics on Magic was Anverdi. You know.
Yep.
He really developed a lot of magic, and we have actually one book.
Here.
Yeah, yes. It's a book. It's a collectible. It's a little bit hard to find now. It's 50 years of magical creations, the name of the book. And
this one is from 1992.
Yes, that edition, yes.
First edition, this
exactly.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, and Anverdi was really great with electronics. Of course, that the electronics involved a lot. The components now are much smaller, as you can imagine. And for example, we have one trick here. I got this collectible at Hocus Pocus, from Fresno, California. You know Hocus Pocus because we bought a lot of...
Correct, when we were young.
Yes.
It was the number one magic shop.
Now, the idea, and they still use these kind of batteries and everything, and the electronics on these are very, very, very peculiar. I mean, at that time, there was not that...
Still super primitive components, and yes,
as you can
uses
see.
these 9-volt batteries as well that nowadays you don't see as much in props, especially magic props. As you see there, the board, the PCB. I mean, it's the components are huge compared to what we have nowadays.
Yes,
and so that's the fact that nowadays everything is miniaturized
into a printed board. This was made by hand, I think, actually.
Yeah, perhaps. Yes.
It seems
by
like
hand
so.
And all that.
Yes,
it allows us nowadays to actually reduce the size of our props as well, and pack a lot more in per square centimeter.
Yes,
let's call it like that.
That's right. Yes, and this trick in particular was very nice. So basically, there's only one key that opens the lock. So the spectator tries to open it, he can't, right? And then at the last key is the magician key, which actually opens this box, this kind of chest,
So that concept of trick is not. It's not new. It's not original to Anverdi's, because you have these routines where you have the padlock, and by gravity it opens or
yes. You mean about the plot? Yes,
for example, yeah. So this one it's the same but applied to a box. Like a jewelry box, and it's electronic.
Yes, it's electronic.
Right.
Yes, basically you have the box right here, and when you open it a little bit more, it triggers something here that allows the chest to open.
Oh, okay. So that's the method. So the method lies in another box.
This one, which is really huge. Look at this.
Right.
Now we can do this in the size of a thumb tip.
Right,
but not at
the
time,
box from where you take the keys out.
Yes,
right.
So to justify this big box with all these electronics, he placed the keys right there. But it's actually this lead that you open a little bit more, and which triggers the mechanism remotely. Okay, so this is how it works, and it's Murphy's Magic who actually has them
owns the rights
to produce all of the Anverdi inventions. I think that they bought, of course, the family.
The latest that they produced, I believe, was the
color match one.
The color match,
yes,
as well.
The color match one was very popularized, even though. The method is different from the Anverdi's, because the Anverdi's method for the color match is that you have like 6 markers on a little stand, which triggers like a basic switch, a reed switch. So when you take the pen out, it sends the signal. So it's very different from the one that Promistic sells and Murphy's has one, So because the Promistic method is different, the Murphy's one, I think it works with motion sensors, which, by the way, the one that was the pioneer was Christopher Taylor from Taylor Imagineering, He was
Using
really motion sensors to activate something. He was the first one to ever use this kind of principle, which he allowed me to sell later on one product, which was called Mind Fusion.
Okay.
You remember?
Yes,
so
I
where a
remember.
project, when something is grabbed from a table, you know which object it was, you know. And Christopher gave me permission to sell Mind Fusion because I met him at a German convention many years ago. And he was the first one to have that, and many other principles that are used. It was by Christopher Taylor from Taylor Imagineering. I know he's retired now. Yeah, he retired like 2 years ago, but he had great products, great inventions. And as you can see, this Anverdi one, it's made of acrylic, you know. It's a very peculiar design, you know.
Right.
Made of acrylic, so it's plastic. And even though it looks very sturdy, but if you take a look at the interior and everything, you know, it really is.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
So
It's
it has
all
a couple
acrylic,
of
polycarbonate.
batteries in it. But what was the plot for the box? Because, for example, when you perform with a padlock, you have it attached to I don't know, some bill or some acrylic plates holding like a bill or an envelope. In this situation, do you know what is the routine for?
I think it's in the book, but basically he has some bills in there, and all he says is that if you can open the box, you win. You keep all the money.
Okay, with
so
the jackpot.
The chess goes from spectator to spectator. Each one grabs a key. Of course, the keys are all the same. You know,
of course.
So it's an external a mechanism inside that opens the box. So people really think it's a last key, but it's not. So it's really cool. And Verdi has a lot of great things. One of the biggest collectors, I think it's Caputo from the United States, which I believe has one of the largest collection. Actually, David Copperfield has a large collection of Anverdi. Yes, they have been in the museum, and I mean a really
so all
large
these
collection.
props, David Copperfield has
most of them.
Has it.
Most of them. There is one in particular that there isn't there, and I actually said this today, which is the floating cube. So basically, you have like an acrylic tube, a cylinder, which is transparent, and then you place a cube inside, you know, and then it floats inside. Yeah, so it's really cool. David does not have that one. But other than that, I think he has all of them. So Anverdi was really amazing. And even in the book, you can see that there are the circuits for the actual tricks, you know. So if you really want to know exactly how they work, you can really, Anverdi really shows the circuits, you know. Not only with electronics, but with electronics as well, you know.
It's not as detailed as in terms of technical stuff, like you use this transistor, or it's more like
you can see the circuits right here. So it really explains if you want to make like your own antenna, you know, to transmit something, how do you make, you know. So it's really cool, you know. Yeah, it's
looks primitive. I mean,
yes, the circuit and everything. You know, it's really cool. So that's it.
Was the beginnings? I mean, not the beginnings as of electronics in magic, but nowadays a lot of things evolved. Who do you think is the nowadays Anverdi? Do you think it's?
I don't know. I mean,
you have a lot of electronic products.
I have a lot. Sure. I really like electronic products, of course. That's why I make them. But there are several great companies, you know, and some other that copy others, as in every area, you know. But I think that, for example, Promistic, you know, really does high quality engineering. There's also Labco. Which are really good.
They are very well known in the industry.
There is Cesaral from Spain, you know. Another person that I really like about electronics, even though he's more specialized in one area, which is a shame in my opinion, but it's what it is. It's Bogunia.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think I really love Sean's work. And he is self-taught. I mean, he does not have any degree in engineering. He learned everything over the internet, and he's really skillful. I love his work,
And it's been on the market for many years as well.
many years.
I know his creations from the same time as you do. It's like 15 years ago or something like that. So you have a trick from
And I will
him.
show you. I will show you. Yes. And one of his first tricks was, do you know the classic Don Wayne dancing Hank, which Copperfield also did, and many magicians did. So it's a dancing Hank, you know, it dances right there. And Bogunia took that concept and created the ultimate dancing Hank, you know. So it was the first time that the silk was not attached to the gimmick. And this allowed to place the silk, for example, in how do you say, like a jar, exactly, transparent one. Then it actually jumps in there, and then it goes to the silk, to the foulard, the black foulard. So it was the first trick, I think, that Bogunia sold, and he was a huge hit.
You have this one gimmick with a cloth, the black cloth that makes the hanky wiggle
move,
and all that.
Yeah.
And he just attached a reel. That's not an invisible thread reel. It's
the first one. It was not.
Use it like a regular string.
Yes.
Attached it to it, and then the silk was free from the gimmick. And if you press a button, it will retract and come to you.
Precisely that. I did this on TV as well when I was like 16. It was my first TV appearance. I also did that routine there. And then many years later, he discovered a special kind of thread, which is called Unica Anis, which is used for fly fishing. And it's a thick but still very invisible thread. And then he created the Ultra Dancing Hank, which is the same, but with invisible thread.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't, because before you needed good lighting, because it really used a normal sewing thread, you know. Now, since it uses an invisible one, you can do it like in front of the people, and it's really cool stage effect.
It was also much more lighter, the gimmick as well, because the first version of it was a little bit, was made out of several materials, but overall it's not as comfortable as the second version that he released.
Yeah.
But one thing about Bogunia is that you mentioned it before, is that he does a lot of hanky stuff.
Yep.
There are a few exceptions from his line of products, but mostly his products are mostly like dancing hanks.
That's right.
Different versions, variations, and
except
all that.
For example, perhaps the WindowMation, which is a gimmick that you can attach to like a window to make a card appear on the other side. You know how it works. It auto disappears. Very cool. So make it appear and then it disappears.
Yeah, also electronic.
As well. And Cup Wow, which was an electronic shop cup. I don't think it's available. It's now a collectible. That's right there in this velvet bag. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Let's just stare at.
No, it's really.
So show us.
So basically, this is it. It's like a black cup, you know. And you can see the quality is really good. I mean, it has the electronics.
I mean, it looks like it's a magician's cup for sure. Right.
Yes, I will show it to the camera.
Okay, but yeah, there is a ball in there.
Yes, and you are making it float almost, right? So it's really, really cool. It really looks.
It's plastic, right?
Yes, it's. I think this is made with molds, you know. So then you push a button there, you can create many routines. So this is like a shop cup with IT, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do many cool routines with this. So it's another electronic product that he had, you know. So yes, I really like him.
And more recently, he just released. An upgrade to his dancing, not dancing, an impossible hank.
Impossible hank.
That is the one silk with some electronics inside that dance by itself, and now you can have. It's an upgraded version, but you can have like 5. Silks to perform the same routes, the same movements at the same time. So yet again, it's silky.
Yes, more focused on silks. Yeah. I created a lot of electronic magic, as you know, during the past few years, like the timeless, where you make a ring appear inside the watch, some smoke devices, several things, including the Anverdi Box that I'm going to show you. But the thing is, some people are afraid of electronics, and because, if the battery runs out or whatever it is, But for example, when I created Leviosa with Holy Motor, which has been performed for thousands of magicians now, I mean, it's only with electronics that you can make something as magical as Leviosa, So as long as the electronics are reliable and they work really well, I think people should not be afraid of using them, because sometimes it's the only way to make something really magical, For example, if it was not for Leviosa, if you wanted to make the deck float to your hand, you'll need, of course, to do this movement with the other hand, which will not only expose the secret, but it will not look magical. Thanks to the electronics in this effect in particular, you simply hold with your hand still, and the deck flies without any kind of move to your hand, So once again, electronics really make things much, much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, but there is a lot of tricks that you can also do without electronics and accomplish more or less the same effect. Of course, that in this case, the Leviosa, you would need a different hookup. You would need a different, routine to accomplish the same basic effect for the spectator. But yeah, so electronics allow you to go further on your presentations.
Yeah, for example, when I launched Timeless, which was made by many magicians, Luis Matos did it on TV.
Right.
It was on the Illusionist show for over 6 months in a row, performed by Jambor every single night. It was crazy. And the thing with that one, for example, and that's where the electronics help the magician, In that case, you simply dropped a coin or a ring, through a little secret door that opens very easily, And 5 seconds later, that small object is inside the watch, So, again, thanks to the electronic, if you want to do it manually, it's possible, okay? But you'll need to be more dirty on your movements, It's the same at Leviosa. It's so beautiful because you don't move a muscle, That's what's beautiful about it, So that's where I think that electronics really help a lot.
In Timeless, it's the concept. It's a nest of objects where you have a ring or a coin that travels to inside a watch.
Yeah.
You would be able to do that without electronics.
Yes.
There are a couple of methods to do that, but it wouldn't allow you to be as clean as,
free as
you can even hand the box to the spectator.
Yes, okay.
The whole time, and then at the moment's notice, you just load the object in front of the spectator.
Right there. In 1 second.
It wouldn't allow you to actually remove the lid and remove the watch as clean as you get with Timeless.
Exactly that.
That's
I
for
totally
sure.
agree. Yeah. And another example, the Blackboard, which has been performed by, it took me really over 2 years to make the first one. It's real chalk, when you turn it around,
Sure.
It's real chalk, and people feel this kind of small details, because you can really pass your hand.
This was really a staple in the magic world, I believe.
The first time I launched it, it was in FISM. I think it was in Italy, or in Stockholm. No, I don't. No, it was in Italy. Yes, in Rimini, actually.
So, which year? 2012, more or less, or no? 14, 15.
I'm so bad with dates. I really don't know.
But it's an old trick now.
Yeah,
you took that concept and you also upgraded it. You now have the easel, the one it has the same concept, but it's a smaller one. And for close up you have the legacy, which uses the same concept of writing in the surface.
The easel was really, really cool. I had this image in my head, because I was in Rua de Santa Catarina here in our city in Porto, and I looked at the storefront, which had an easel, which was a really big one, you know, and I thought, perhaps the mechanism of my Blackboard can fit in there, you know, and we designed everything and we built it, and it's. I mean, I'm really proud of that one. I don't think it gets more magical, in my opinion, than having a wood stand, an easel that you see through. I mean, it's there.
Yes, that's the difference.
You know, you take a pad, you do your prediction with a Sharpie, you place it there, you don't touch it, you know, and then anything can appear there, from words, drawings, wherever. Then you show to the audience, you rip the page, hand out as a souvenir, and do it again right there if you want. I mean, I'm really proud of that one. And then I took that concept and also applied to Legacy, which is a pocket version. So you can really design with the Sharpie in a small business card.
Business card, yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. So let's see a trick now.
Of course, you have an Anverdi Box, which is also
yes,
one
a few
of
years.
yours.
Yes. So Anverdi Box, a really empty box. Yeah.
Right.
So you are going to try to do the trick, okay, Artur? So I have some cards right here. So some cards, yes, all different. Of course, you can sign the card, but let's do something very simple because we are talking about electronic magic, and this is an idea that I had many years ago, and it's very simple. So you can take any card you want, no force.
All right.
Take any. You can show to everyone. I won't look. I'm so glad I placed this small monitor on the floor. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
All right.
Yes, the card. Yeah. So I'm just going to cut the card somewhere. Yes. Please tell me stop where you want and
Stop.
right here. And I'm place some cards here, and I'm not going to influence you. Okay. What I'm going to simply ask you is to place the cards one by one, very slowly inside the box, and let's see if the magic happens or not. One by one, please. Let's see. Normally, I have, of course, a pad or the routine where you talk about Daryl Dan, which was known as the king of cards. Almost, you are feeling the magic.
I don't feel anything up until now, but oh,
Right?
closed.
Do you remember your card?
It was a 4 of clubs
Please take a look.
here. Oh,
Yes,
Four
show the
clubs.
camera right there.
yeah. Awesome.
So this is something that I created. It's so simple. Everything happens. There are no remote controls. I mean, it's so simple and very effective. I really like it. You know.
Awesome, and it's a very. I mean, the box is, although it has electronics inside, it's
People can examine it and
Of
everything.
course,
I mean, there's nothing to find out.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Very, very nice trick.
yeah.
And it's self-contained.
Yes, everything
Right.
is self-contained. It looks like so we are trying to sell something, but it's not. I mean, it's not the
Right.
purpose of the podcast. I mean, there is one great gimmick that my good friend Arcadio showed me. I really liked it. It's a small motor, you know. So basically, of course, this does not work at all. I mean, this is very badly made, but the idea I like it. I mean,
But what
because
does it
in
do?
theory you can have it palmed, and have the cards there, or imagine they are inside the box, and when you flick a switch, this motor, because it has a rubber wheel, makes the cards go up. There are several card fountains on the market. You know?
Okay.
There
So-
are a lot of them, but I like the idea of having a small motor. It's a pity that it doesn't work at all. I mean, it's so weak. The cards fly like this,
Oh, okay.
and
So it doesn't work. It's not because it's out of battery. It's
the way it was designed.
the motor is very weak. You said.
Yes, and a few more things. The rubber wheel, I don't think it's the best. So, but I like it because it's very, very cute.
So this is
doesn't work very well,
it's not a magic trick. It's a prop for card manipulation,
An
for
accessory.
example, an accessory that it's an electronic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you do my watch, in your professional
Yeah,
performances,
Close up.
I created that one because there are some watches on the market that work with apps, So in order to input the time, you need to go to an app, which for me makes absolutely no sense at all. So that's why I developed mine
And
with the remote control.
fact, I know that it was your most difficult trick to create because I mean, we are friends, and I was with you the whole process of making the watch, and so it was a very difficult creation of yours.
Yeah,
but knowing what kind of labor it has and the details that were thought of. I used it. I use it with confidence enough to actually be able to use it professionally. I mean, it's
and the devil is and the devil is in the details. I will tell you, there are several Chinese companies now and other ones that miss one particular point that I think it's a shame. For example. In the case of my version, when you input the time in the remote, which is great, you place the time in 2 seconds. You don't need to pick up your phone. You don't need to do nothing, It's because it's an analog watch. You have it there, And the great thing is, when the remote sends the information to the watch, it is always searching for the watch. Imagine that it missed for some reason. I mean, the signal it went through because the magician
I know what you mean.
Is very far.
Yes.
I mean,
because most watches on the market that actually were released after yours, but most watches on the market use like Bluetooth connection, or if it isn't Bluetooth, it's something
or a
similar.
Fi or something. Yeah.
But the thing is, they just perform one round of sending signals. So, for example, if you have these watches on your pockets or on some other room, and you perform the trick, it doesn't find the watch in the range that Bluetooth allows to. The trick stops there because it tries once and then
that's it. It
didn't find the watch, so the watch didn't pick up the time.
Exactly.
You fail as a magician, and that's it.
Yep.
The difference with your watch is that you can have the watch in other room, or you can have the watch on your pocket or on a spectator's hands. And if the watch doesn't pick the time at first, the remote is always sending the signal up until the watch answers back saying that I picked up the signal.
Exactly that. And the
so
remote
you can
vibrates.
have like for 15 minutes the watch in other room, and then when you bring it in, the time is sent whenever it catches a connection.
And I think that many companies, this kind of details is missing, which is a shame because...
And it's not a technological breakthrough. I mean, it's just the way... It's not. The designers and the way people that make electronics think. You just need to think as a magician, because you are a magician. You designed it in a way that you would like to have it working. So
many people don't know, but to mention this already, because in the previous broadcast that we have together, is that I did so many shows, so many corporate shows, that I know this kind of things. Now you see nowadays, not every creator, but many that do not go to the real world, and they don't have experience. For example, Craig Filassetti from Promistic, I know he's a worker, he's a performer. He uses his stuff that he sells. It's totally different than being like beside four walls and just starting to invent magic without having this kind of knowledge in the real world. I think it's very important, because the reset needs to be fast. I mean, needs to be easy, and
it's for the amateurish magicians. But one thing that you kind of introduced to the electronics in the magic world, at least up to my knowledge extent, is the feedback for the magician in electronic products. Nowadays, you see it in other products around the world. But I believe that your products were the first ones to include such feedback. I'm talking about, for example, in the watch trick, you get vibrations whenever something happens. For example, you insert a time on the remote, The remote vibrates, so you know that it was accomplished. So the remote sends the time. The remote vibrates in a different way, so you know that the time was sent. These small details that also professional magicians like and want to feel reassured when performing, is that you feel it, and you then, I mean, the way that you act upon people is different because you are sure about what you're...
The fact that the remote vibrates back, it's reassuring that the signal was sent, that the magic is working, you know. It's great. I also did some things for Copperfield, some small things that use in his own show, and a lot of products, as you know.
Of course.
We have done. I think my company is more well known about electronic magic, right? And I'm really happy about it. And
but you also have some tricks that aren't electronic.
Right? I mean, I always start with the idea, you know, and then for some reason I have I know. It's very easy for me to find out methods for good visual tricks, you know. For example, a small example is that when Ruli was here and showed me Leviosa, it was like you really need to pull a thread, and you know it was.
So it was a non-electronic.
Non-electronic, yes. I mean, you need to unwind the thread and all of that to prepare for the trick, which was great. I mean, if you want to do it on social media or for a friend or two, it's great, but not for the real life, you know. So I mean. The next day, I thought about two motors. In fact, some people here in my company are always kidding with me because say that for me, the motors are the solution for everything, you know? So
you put two motors in everything.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But I placed the two motors, and the trick, now Miguel is laughing right there at the back of the camera. So yes, motors are really great.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Anverdi use them very much. So
yes, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So let me show you. Want to see a trick?
Of course.
I'll show you a trick that it's not an electronic one. It's actually a card trick, but it doesn't have to be a card trick.
Okay.
I would. This is more like a balance trick. Let me show you. Do you know that balance trick from Josh Roget, where you have like the bottle and then a toothbrush?
Yeah.
This is the same concept, the same approach, but for close-up. Okay. So I have a playing card here. I also have this credit card. Let me see if I can balance these two. Okay. So I'll just keep them just like this. You have to be very, very precise with these things. Yes. Are you feeling the magic? Look, I can do even better. I have this lighter here. Yeah. So let's try to balance all these like this. And you can actually see it 360 like this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this is not an electronic trick?
It's not. I wouldn't say it doesn't use any invisible thread or but this one is called Stasis. This one is from it's marketed developed by the other brothers, and the creator is David Jambor or something like that. So this is I know that you aren't a really big fan of these balance tricks.
I'm not.
But this one makes me remember that one trick that you have with a bill, you know, where you balance the bill on your finger.
Yes, with the coin, basically. The secret is the coin.
Yes, so you put a coin in the bill, you then fold it like if it's in a tube, and you are able to balance. It's a suspension.
Yes.
In stage, you have such tricks as the chair suspension or the broom suspension, for example. In close up. This is a concept that isn't super explored. I mean, but I really like this visual, that you get. It's not a magic trick on its own, but it's something impossible.
I like that one more than the others, to be honest with you, because it's 3 objects, I think I know how it works, but it's very simple and very, I think, you'll tell me later if I'm right or not, but... Yeah.
Sure, but yes, you can do it with the multiple objects. I've done this with a lighter, but usually I don't do this very often in my close-up shows. But when I used to work at the restaurant, this was in my suitcase, and I used a pack of like chewing gum. That it was emptied out, and so it was much lighter than the watch, and you were able to balance those. So it's
Very
a
cool.
nice, it's a different trick as well.
Yes,
so
yes,
it's
yes.
not always the same. Take a card, and it's and I like the concept. Actually.
Yeah, but you have that in your wallet, and that's it.
Yes, you can.
Very cool.
The gimmick is just one card. And you can apply this principle to any other objects. So I use this credit card, but you can have a credit card as your card, and so you can balance 2 credit cards, for example. So it looks like that I'm selling it to you, but it's just it's a fun little trick that I thought it would.
Yes, it's the thing with this podcast. I mean, we bring some tricks that we like. We are not being paid. We are not being asked to shoot any of this trick. I mean, this tricks, it's something that we simply like to share. That's basically it. You don't. I think you don't even know the creators personally of that trick.
No. I own a few things from the other brothers. I own this one other pen that it marks your skin like in an invisible way, but this one trick. But that's it. I met him in Blackpool, I believe, a few years back. But that's it. Yeah. So they don't know who I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. Regarding also electronics, but more on apps, I know that you are a big fan of Mark Kensin, right?
Sure.
Which apps?
I mean, there is a lot of
there are a lot now of apps, right? I mean, I'm not really into all of them. I mean, it's crazy,
Right.
I'm in my small little world.
I have one app that I released a few years back.
Predict and Grab.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
It's still in nowadays because it's an app that uses Instagram for you to make a prediction or a force, and then you sort out your presentation. But yeah, it uses Instagram so that you can connect with your spectators in a more modern
and I know
way.
it was great because when we were at Blackpool, Mark said, "Oh, Artur, I really like our app." It was really cool because he's one of the biggest names in apps in Israel.
Yes, he has a lot of good. I own some of his creations as well.
The wiki test one is really amazing.
Yeah, I don't own that one because it doesn't really suit my style. So again, the apps that I own, that I have, that I buy, I use them professionally. So I do a lot of close-up work, and I include a lot of digital magic in my routines, and so the apps that I have, I really use them like professionally. So Wikitest, it's just not my style, but I own, for example, and I use the Earworm, which is the one app that you can have a lot of do a lot of things, but you can have like a prediction of a YouTube video, for example, and you have the spectator to think of I do it with a series, for example, with series. Think of a series like a Netflix show or whatever. You have the spectators type it on the notes app. So just for you won't be saying out loud, but you just type it.
It's
and
like
show
Legacy,
and so it then connects with your prediction that's on the spectator's phone, and it matches your prediction. So I think digital magic with apps is a great thing nowadays because you always you as a spectator, you always have your phone with you. It's part of your life. Also, it's challenging because the spectators know what can be done with phones nowadays. So you need always to be one step ahead of the latest, trends on digital world. So the NFC tags more recently was a great way for the magician to convey information to the spectator's phone. So you can have a tag scanned and pass in URLs, for example, that up until very recently you would need to manually type on the spectator's phone.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of.
Very cool. We also use apps for our products, for example, for Legacy, we use the Notes app, so it transmits the information. And now
Legacy app is a little bit different from this one.
The native ones.
Because, no, not because of that. Because it has two fronts. One is actually it's an app that the magician uses, or the assistant of the magician uses to actually set up the trick and to actually convey information to the prop itself. And also the Legacy app also allows for you to have a clean front for the spectator, using the Notes app for the spectator to write. So it's a
two-in-one almost.
Two-in-one app. But you also have the Lynx Blackboard app, which works on a tablet. And that app is never seen by the spectator. So it's like a setup.
And our apps, since they are web apps, they work with every single phones and every computer. I mean, it's good because of that. Yeah, but it's very important. Apps, we are also creating now new magic, that also use apps to set up the tricks. We are almost in every new release that we are coming up in the future, which we are working now on a lot of tricks. We are working on 10 different effects, which is overwhelming at some times. But we are using apps for, to set up everything, and because it's really convenient.
Yes, and because you can not only that, you can be a lot more precise on what you set up, and it allows you to scale in the future. Because, for example, you have a prop that's when you release it, you have let's say three options. Let's imagine that you would do this without an app. So you have 3 options to set up in some remote or whatever. If you want to include a 4th option or a 5th option, you need to actually update the remote. You need to launch a second version of the trick. With an app, it's different. Just need to update the app.
It's totally
different. And it works backwards.
Yep.
So it allows you to scale in the future your tricks.
Yes. So it's really useful. Yeah.
Okay, so we for 1 hour show, we have covered a lot of things, but there's a lot of other.
Yeah, we could stay here for many
talking about
times,
electronics and magic and the great breakthroughs. So that's it for today's episode.
Yep. Yes.
I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, see you next time, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.